Hello and welcome to this webinar from Suntico. This is the first in a new series of webinars and Hangouts on air, especially for Sage 50 customers. The title of today's webinar I took from a quote from one of my partners. One day he said to me, Hugh, you know what? Having Suntico, it's like having a CRM without having to get a CRM. So that's interesting. Go on, tell me more. He said, well, for the right kind of company, putting in Santico delivers most of the benefits that you would expect from a CRM system. But it's dramatically easier, and you don't have to go through all the heartache and pain, both on a personal and an organizational level, that you would traditionally associate with putting in a new CRM system. I said, that's interesting. So what would you describe as the right kind of company? I said, that's simple. The right kind of company is a business-to-business company that uses Sage 50, that is doing a lot of repeat business with the same set of vendors and same set of customers. So that at any one time, you might have people from the finance team, from the sales team, from the marketing team, from the customer service team, interacting with the same customer or the same vendor or the same account. And that might be happening across teams, it might be happening across sites. And he said what Suntico provides is this enterprise account management tool that keeps the entire company on the same page in terms of what's happening and what has happened within my important account relationships. I said, thank you very much for that. You've just helped me position Suntico very nicely for my target audience. That's by way of introduction to today's webinar, and to continue that introduction, my name is Hugh Johnson. I'm the Senior Vice President of Business Development at Suntico. If you like what you hear today, please share it on your social networks. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues. If you don't like what you hear, by all means, you're entitled to do that as well, but please do tell me. You can reach me on Twitter at Hugh C. Johnson, on Google+, LinkedIn, and also by email at hugh.johnson@suntico.com. Today's webinar will last for 30 minutes and no seconds, hopefully even a little bit less than that. I've got time for a few questions at the end, and if anyone wants any further in-depth questions, then we can go on and handle those offline. So back to our product positioning. As I said in that introduction, Suntico is positioned as a business-to-business enterprise account management solution for companies that use Sage 50 Accounting. It's not a Salesforce automation tool. It's not a pipeline management tool. It's not a marketing automation tool or an e-commerce system or an ERP system. You can't even use it to send an email. You've got plenty of ways at the moment that you can send emails to your customers. That's not the issue we're trying to solve today. The issue we're trying to solve is very clear, it's very focused. The issue we're trying to solve is to ensure that your entire company that is customer facing or vendor facing at the front office of your business is on the same page in terms of what is happening and what has happened with your important key account relationships. And this is important because what a lot of companies do is they try to put in conventional or traditional CRM systems to solve this problem. And that is fraught with difficulty because the statistics would show putting in a new CRM system is as hard, if not harder, or riskier than starting a new business. These are not my statistics. Just go out there and Google what percentage of CRM projects fail, and you will be absolutely staggered by the figures that come back. And in fact, as these statistics show, the probability is that a new CRM initiative is far more likely to fail or fail to meet expectations than starting a new business venture. And the reasons are quite common, actually, and there's a common theme behind these reasons, and it's because of this common theme that we've managed to come up with the concept of Suntico. And it comes down to four key things: purpose, process, people, and data. An awful lot of CRM projects have no clear purpose. This sounds staggering, but it's true. At Suntico, we've got a very, very clear focus in mind. and purpose in mind, which is to keep everybody on the same page regarding customer relationships, vendor relationships, what's going on and what has happened. A lot of CRM systems fail to deliver to the people that use it what they require. I remember from personal experience, when I was a young rookie sales rep, being invited in as part of a user focus group to test a new system the company was putting in. This is before there was such a thing as a label called CRM, but it was a new CRM system for the company. The company had spent $6 million developing the system, and after a morning of testing it and evaluating it, I told them that they had wasted their $6 million, because if you expect the sales reps to use it, the tool needs to deliver value to the sales rep to help the sales rep achieve what it is that he's trying to achieve. And as far as I could see, this tool, it actually slowed the sales rep down in terms of the work that he was supposed to be doing. Another area where the systems fall down is around process. And particularly enterprise systems, they get bogged down in trying to define all the, and formalize all the customer-facing processes. Well, at Suntico, both from the people and the process point of view, we take a different view. Firstly, from the people point of view, there is something in Suntico for everybody that interacts with customers, whether it's the finance team chasing unpaid invoices, whether it's the sales team trying to work out what products to promote to the customer, or even the current status of previous orders that the customer has placed with him. From a process point of view, Suntico tackles this problem very simply, because we do not put in formal processes within Suntico, and the reason for that is very, very simple, because our target customer would typically be 5 to 50 employees, and in that environment, our philosophy is if you present those staff, those customer-facing staff, with the kind of information they need to do their job, to handle the customer queries and to manage the customer relationship well, they don't need to follow a scripted formal process. In a larger enterprise maybe, but not in our target market. The fourth and the final element is data. And again, most CRM systems hit the rocks when it comes to data. The data quality is poor and consistently out of date. And again, the reason the way we address that problem within Suntico is through very, very tight integration with your Sage 50 accounting system. Now, why would you integrate a CRM system or alternative to a CRM system with your accounting system? It's very, very simple. Because, firstly, if you want a definitive list of all your customers and all your trading relationships, that list exists in your accounting software. It doesn't exist in a spreadsheet somewhere in the sales department. The definitive list of your customers is in Sage, so why not use it? The list of all the business you've done with the customers in the past, the products they've bought, the prices they paid for it, the time periods they bought, when they bought, how they paid for them, all that information is in Sage. So why not leverage that data? Why not use that data and publish that to the customer-facing people that are interacting with your customers on a daily basis? So this is the philosophy we follow with Suntico, and it ends up with a dramatically simpler alternative to a conventional CRM. So if we go back, what's the purpose? The purpose is very clear. It's what's going on within my company, across my company teams, with my key account customer or vendor relationships. To answer that question, it's a company-wide solution. Yes, it is aimed to be used for the finance team. It is aimed to be used by the sales teams or customer service teams, where they can collaborate together. The dogs on the road interacting with the customers, or the finance cats back at head office can collaborate together around the status of an order or getting an invoice paid. It also provides what I would call ad hoc automation. So rather than being prescriptive, which then becomes very, very difficult to implement, it takes a kind of more free approach and supports ad hoc automation using modern social style tools. So just like you would go onto Facebook to find out what's going on with your friends and personal relationships, you can go onto Suntico and find out what's going on with your key customer relationships. You don't need prescriptive tools and processes within Facebook to arrange things with your friends. You don't need that within Suntico to arrange and handle customer issues within your company. And finally, big difference is we plug straight into your Sage data, but it's not just your Sage data that we pull out. We also pull out, and we also enable you to extend that data and enrich that data to support those customer-facing processes. Now, that's enough of talk. Let's go through to actually have a look and see what the product looks like from a demo point of view. So to get into Suntico, all you need to go to Suntico.com and log in. I've actually already done that over here. And the first thing you will notice is that it's a web-based application. And that's great, because at any one time, you might be wanting to interact with your colleagues who might be in remote offices, out on the road, working from home via an Apple Mac, on the road using an iPad, or even maybe at a remote head office in a foreign country. And being a web-based solution, all those people can interact together and collaborate together, facing the same data. The second thing that you will notice is that it is populated by Sage data. We've pulled up all this data from Sage, accounts data, contacts data, addresses, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to go into that in more detail later. We've plugged in, for this demonstration, we've plugged into Bellwether Garden Supply, which is a popular sample data set that comes with the Sage 50 US edition. Suntico works with Sage 50 US edition, Sage 50 Canadian edition, and also the more traditional Sage 50 from the UK and Ireland. The application is the same, so it doesn't matter that you're looking at this through US eyes, the application is the same regardless. I'm very, very pleased today to see that we've got people attending today's webinar from 3 different continents, actually representing all 3 of those different Sage 50 products. So, as I said, the main purpose of Suntico, as I said, is to find out what's going on with my key customer relationships within my company. So just like in Facebook, you would go to your timeline and see what's going on, do exactly the same thing in Suntico. We call it My Wall. So I log in and I go to My Wall, and within Suntico, just like within Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, I can follow different records within the system that are of interest to me. Key accounts, transactions, colleagues. I can follow these, and any additional notes or comments to do with any of relationships automatically then appear in My Wall and are updated. So what I can see straight away is that I can see a note to do with Teesdale Real Estate. That's one of the accounts I follow. Also Armstrong Landscaping. In fact, I can see a lot of stuff going on there to do with Armstrong Landscaping. A lot of comments. I can drill down straight from the wall. I can drill that straight down to take a look at the account detail. Here I've got all my static data that has come up from Sage, enriched with a tag that I've tagged this customer as a gold customer, and I've got all the other static data I've pulled up from Sage. The contacts, there's no limit to the number of contacts I can have in the system. I can tag contacts again for segmentation purposes. The addresses I've pulled up from Sage, and again, one of the nice things to do with this web-based system, I go straight out onto Google Maps and look up the address on Google Maps, which is very handy if I'm trying to visit the client, for example. But as well as this hard or kind of static data, I've got all the transactional data that has also been pulled up from Sage. I can see here I've got quite a number of outstanding invoices that haven't been paid. I can look at events related to the customer. I can see actually tomorrow I've got a customer meeting coming up. I can see tasks related to the customer. I can see that in this particular case there's a task to qualify a sales lead. So I can see there's a sales opportunity actually going on within this client account. So actually what we've seen on, then we can also go into the wall, which is the wall of this customer account. And actually every single record within the system has its own wall. So you can use this to add notes, add attachments, create discussions, to discuss issues relating to this account. And it provides a very, very easy way to share information across the company about what's going on. So that's drilling down into one particular account. Just to jump back up a bit, let's just go in to take a look at how this data gets populated from Sage. Okay, so just in the background, what's happening is that I have a connector piece of software which is running in the background and installed on my Sage server where the data is, and that's polling my Sage system for updates. And anytime Sage is updated, it grabs that information and pushes that up into Suntico. I can adjust through this web interface. I can adjust how often the Sage information is polled, and there might be different reasons why you'd want to adjust that, which we can go into at a separate time. I can control what data is synchronized. I can turn different data elements on and off if I want, or I can leave it all on. I can add users to the system. By default, the system pulls up my employee file that I have in Sage 50, which makes it very easy for me to invite users onto the system. But if not, I can just invite them directly through this invite button at the top. I can control what they see and what they can do through very, very user-friendly user access profile management setup there. Let's go back and then just very quickly have a look at the data that's coming in. So because this is coming in from Sage into a relational database, I can present many different views of the data. So here I've got a kind of general accounts view where I've got all my collaborative stuff going on, and where I might want to collaborate around particular issues relating to an account or a set of accounts. So if I drill down to my accounts list view, this is all the accounts that have been pulled up from Sage. I can add additional accounts here, which could be accounts that are, prospect accounts that I'm not currently trading with. I can enrich the data with tags. I can personalize the data with bookmarks, which are personal to me, which basically means that whenever I call up a list of these records, the bookmarked items appear at the top. I can add a note to any record on the system. I can just go straight in. There's the Teesdale account there. I can go straight in to the wall of Teesdale and put a note on the account, or actually just see what's going on, seeing what's going on within that account. So that's kind of one view that comes up from Sage. Because we're putting it into a relational database, we can also have a view from a contacts point of view or an addresses point of view. But alternatively, you might want to look at the data from a sales point of view. You might be trying to track revenues and see how the business is going there. So I can just pull up sales invoices. So here I have all sales invoices on the system. I'm just going to reset that view for a minute. A nice little feature there. It remembered how I'd configured this view from the last time I logged on, and it represented that back to me. If I just want to look at sales invoices by rep, I just drag the rep over there, and I have it grouped by rep. I can drill down further, and I can filter by date, and so on and so forth. If I wanted to just pull up a list of customers, I can then create custom list view of this customer, and I can save that list view. Now, to save time on this webinar, I'll go straight into that. I can show you just a simple example I did, which is a list of customers that owe me more than $10,000. Okay, so let's pretend in this example I'm the credit in charge of credit control, and it's important to me to monitor all the customers that owe me more than $10,000. And what I've got here is I've just I don't need the street. Okay. So here's the custom list that's pulled up. Now what I've done is I'm also following that list. So what that means is, again, just from finding out what's going on that's important to me across the business, if I'm the credit controller, I can choose to follow this list of customers, which means any customer that owes me more than $10,000, any update to that customer record, any notes, any discussions that are going on to do with that customer, I'm notified about that via my wall. The moment that customer balance drops below $10,000, maybe I'm no longer interested. So I automatically stop following them. So it's a very, very easy way for me to personalize the stream of data that is fed to me from Suntico about what's going on across my accounts and within my business. If I'm a sales rep, I could turn the view the other way, or if I'm a sales manager, I could choose to follow all those accounts that fit into my territory, just as a simple example. And by the way, one of the enrichments that Suntico adds to Sage 50 is the concept of territories, where you can assign accounts to territories, and then the ability to restrict views of users onto particular accounts or particular territories. So you can have a sales manager that would only see the accounts of the customers that fall within his territory, and a sales rep that only sees the accounts that he actually deals with. And that saves sales reps dumping out a whole load of customer lists and running off to your nearest competitor. Another aspect of the system is that we produce what I call the kind of product view. And again, it's the same data. It's the data that we've pulled up out of Sage. But what this is a line item view of all the transactions that you've done. Okay, so if I wanted to see, for example, list all the products that of the type AVRY, which is a kind of bird aviary birdcage system. Okay, and I've got a number of different products there. I can filter by product code. I could filter on the exact product code if I wanted. I can see how many have been sold. I could just filter on invoices. I could see by sales rep and by account as well. So again, and I could group by sales rep. It's just a very simple way of. That one starts with invoice. Sorry, so I'm not including all the purchasing information. And there we have a list of the bird cages that have been sold by rep. And I could filter further on period if I wanted. I could add the date, the date field. So that's a kind of product view. So as you can see, there's kind of something for everybody here. Whether you're a marketing guy trying to work out the product sales angle, or whether you're a sales guy trying to look into the detail of what's going on within your customer, or whether you're a finance guy trying to manage credit control across your customers, there's something in there for everybody, and everybody can collaborate together across the organization. And incidentally, it's a small thing, but I can pull up a list of my colleagues, and I can drill down. I can choose to follow colleagues or not. I can drill down, and I can see, important events or whatever and tasks that relate to my colleagues. Very useful for a sales manager is trying to track the activities of his sales reps. Now, the last thing that I wanted to touch on, because I've spoken about people, I've spoken about data, I've spoken about purpose of the system. The last thing I wanted to talk about was process. And really the key thing here is, I've spoken about a lot of it already, but the key thing here is that there is no rigid process within Suntico, and that makes it extremely flexible and extremely easy to get started using. Yet, although there's no rigid process, all the data links together and hangs together well, so you can still find it. So, very, very simple example. I've gone back to my wall, and let's say I had that visit, that meeting with Armstrong Landscaping, and I just wanted to make a quick note about it. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in my iPad, because I'm going to pretend that I'm out on the road. So here I've got an emulator of my iPad. I'm going to look up the account. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm not going to look up the account. I'm going to go straight to my wall. And what I can do is I can post an update straight away onto that account record, just by simply typing at ARM Armstrong Landscaping, and maybe I want to notify one of my colleagues. So if I can notify Callista Swenton, meeting went very well today, or whatever it is that I want to share and share. Now, that's really nice from a sales rep. He's out on the road. He doesn't even have to look up the account record to post the note, because what you'll find, if I jump back to head office, as it were, and if I search for Armstrong Landscaping, sales accounts, and if I go to the wall of Armstrong Landscaping to find out what's going on, there I see it. That note that was posted in there through the iPad. Very, very simple way of keeping everybody informed, keeping everybody up to date. In a similar way, very, very similar way, I can create tasks, link them to accounts, link them to transactions, and assign them to other users, add deadlines, and follow those tasks as well. Likewise, I can create events, which are basically diary entries to record meetings and events that happen at a particular time. So, as you see, it's a system that has a very clear purpose to find out what is going on across my business with my key accounts and with my colleagues. The data is continuously updated from Sage 50. It's really easy to get started. You can get started in about 15 minutes, as opposed to maybe 15 weeks or longer with a more conventional CRM type project. There's no prescriptive processes involved, but all the records still remain linked together, so you can still find out what's going on within your company. I'm running out of time, so what I want to do is just pop back to the presentation. And see if there are any questions that have come up on the system. Yes, I have a couple of questions. First question is, does Suntico update my Sage, and will it mess up my Sage data? The answer to that is no. At the moment, Suntico only reads data from your Sage system, and we are working on, and I expect by the end of this year, you'll be able to update things like create invoices or push orders through to the system. But that'll be done on a very quality controlled basis, where the finance team will be able to control the final update that goes through. Another question is, can I restrict people to only see certain accounts? The answer to that is yes, you can. You can restrict to individual accounts or to territories. So sales manager can view a territory, sales rep can see an account. I'm running out of time now. That's all I've got time for. If you like what you've seen today, please take it for a spin. It's very, very easy to get started. Go to our website at suntico.com, click on Try for Free, fill out the information, and try this for yourself. If you get into difficulty, you can just book an appointment with me, and we can get you up and running in no time. And again, if you have any further questions, contact me, Twitter at Hugh C. Johnson, Google+, LinkedIn, or at hugh.johnson@santico.com.